Hey there, hi there, Hyde here. And today we're going back to the Windows XP era. This takes me back to better times before Windows 10, before Windows 7, before Windows Vista, before Windows 8, and of course before Windows 11. We're going to be playing an educational game about Pinecones, which seems like a fun way of doing things.
Today, we're going to look at conifers or cone-bearing trees. If you take a walk in autumn in a place that actually has trees, you're bound to see dozens of them littering the ground.
So
With
long
their
as there are
conical shape
conifers,
and
yeah?
unique flakes, pine cones are easy to identify and hard to miss. From this haphazard description, please select the image that correctly represents a pine cone.
Oh, I don't know, could it be this one? It's kind of hard looking, but this one has flakes. This is an Easter egg, obviously. This one.
You must feel quite embarrassed.
Not at all.
In fact, I'm embarrassed for you.
Why would you
I
be?
will offer you another try, but that would be far too generous.
What do you mean?
Without any frame of reference, please spell the word pinecone. It should be noted that if you spell it wrong, everyone will judge you for it. Back in my day, we didn't have autocorrect. We had... Oh, never mind. Once again, I won't waste
something
time
wrong?
letting you try again.
I did
Remember
it
this
perfectly. I did it fine. What are you
Unlike
talking
normal
about?
trees that sprout flowers that contain both the male and female parts needed to bear tree children, conifers are what we call in the plant world extra. They're actually to completely separate cones on the same tree needed for reproduction.
Makes a
One
lot of
male,
sense,
one
yeah.
female. The bulky cones you've probably seen are the females. The males are thin and long.
So it's
Let's
like
see if you were
spiders,
paying
huh?
Attention. Select the male pine cone.
Well, they're like spiders, right? If the males are thin and long, and the females are bigger. I don't have a frame of reference here, but this doesn't seem long. These ones seem long. Although they're tiny, right? Like, these are a pine needle. So they're not very long at all. I'm gonna guess this one.
You know, I'm beginning to think that you're doing this on purpose. If you are, I don't appreciate it. I assure you, I will have the last laugh.
I don't think you
Pretending to
will.
be stupid about pine cones is the very definition of stupidity.
I was only pretending.
The male cones create pollen that the wind blows upwards towards the female cones. This is how seeds are generated. We are going to recreate this experience now. Please click the mouse to blow the pollen towards the female.
How do I not do that? Okay, we did it. Are you happy,
It
David?
can take months to even years for the cones to be ready, but eventually the scales of the female cone hinge open and release the seeds.
Is that like
Take the mouse now
Stonehenge?
to recreate this experience.
David, I don't want to play this game anymore. It's like popcorn.
The breeze scatters these seeds and they drift to the ground. If conditions
Why
are
do they
favorable,
sound like the
spring will
souls
see
of the
these seeds
damned?
begin to grow. After a few decades, these new
David,
trees will reach
what are they
maturity
doing to me?
and will begin to make cones of their own. This is a cycle that has been recurring for over 250 million
David,
years.
my screen.
Sometimes it is a
My
series
operating
of
system.
cycles that allows species to
Is this
endure
a
perpetually
virus?
forever.
Are you
In an
destroying my
environment
monitor?
that continues to change. These cones will outlive you, your children, your entire bloodline. As the world comes to an inevitable halt, the failed results of yet another evolution cycle, the earth wiping the slate clean, you can expect to see these trees littering the ground, tempting the next generation to outlive them. You will never beat them.
Oh, I think I will. Administrator. I think that's our password, right? Come on. That's right? Do I have to do it again? Are you happy, David?
Welcome to an educational game about pine cones. Take a deep breath, and when you're ready to be bored, press start. Today, we're going to look at conifers or cone-bearing trees.
Okay.
If you take a walk in autumn in a place that actually has trees, you're bound to see dozens
I
of them
feel
littering
like,
the ground. With their conical shape and unique flakes, pine cones are easy to identify and hard to miss. From this haphazard description,
What
please
happens if we
select
do
the
it
image that
correctly?
correctly represents a pine cone.
Obviously, we have restarted the game, but what happens if we do it
Excellent.
correctly?
You can now identify flora and fauna at a first grade level.
That's pretty good for a guy who didn't go to
Without any
school.
frame of reference, please spell the word pinecone. It should be noted that if you spell it wrong, everyone will judge you for it.
That's just my anxiety talking, you
It must
know?
feel good to spell at a second grade level.
Darn
Good
right
job.
it does.
Unlike normal trees that sprout flowers that contain both the male and female parts needed to bear tree children, conifers are what we call in the plant world extra. They're actually two completely separate cones on the same tree needed for reproduction. One male, one female. The bulky cones you've probably seen are the females. The males are thin and long. Let's see if you were paying. Your attention span is mediocre. but
It's pretty
don't
bad,
fret.
actually,
We
but
need
thank you for
mediocrity
the,
to define the average.
Hey,
The male
ouch.
cones create pollen that the wind blows up.
Better than any quip I could have come up with.
This is how seeds are generated. We are going to recreate this experience now. Please click the mouse to blow the pollen towards the female.
What if I don't do anything, David? What happens if I don't do anything? What if we just sit here and enjoy the music, David? What if those seeds never get pollinated? What if the male pine cones never inseminate the female pine cone, David? Then how are they going to outlive my bloodline, David? They won't. They won't, David. It's only because I allow them to that they will.
It can take months to even years for the cones to be ready.
We're humans,
but eventually,
David.
the
We're
scales
top of the food
female
chain.
cone hinge open
Top of the
and release the
ecological
seeds.
niche.
Click the mouse now to recreate
Apex
this
predators.
experience.
If I didn't want this to fertilize the earth with its seed, it would not do so. It's only because I allow it, David. I allow it to live.
The breeze scatters these seeds and they drift to the ground. If conditions are favorable, spring will see these seeds begin to grow. After a few decades, these new trees will reach maturity and will begin to make cones of their own. This is a cycle that has been recurring for over 250 million years. Sometimes it is the simplest of cycles that allows species to endure perpetually forever in an environment
That's
that
redundant,
continues to
David.
change. These cones will outlive you, your children, your entire bloodline. As the world comes to an inevitable halt, the failed results of yet another evolution cycle, the earth wiping the slate clean, you can expect to see these trees littering the ground, tempting the next generation to outlive them. You'll never beat them.
I think with enough napalm and Agent Orange, we probably could, David. Okay, you can't actually click on these. So nothing else. What can I say about that? Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of contention towards this video because of the David Attenborough text-to-speech. That's obviously AI modeling. And that's probably not going to be enjoyable for a lot of people out there. I apologize for that, but I think it's actually... it's probably impossible for someone to afford for an indie game like this, just a little, tiny little game like this, to actually get David Attenborough. And it might be pretty hard for them to get a David Attenborough impersonator. I can't do a very good impersonation of David Attenborough, so I understand the difficulty there. He is one of those very distinct voices. And it does raise some ethical questions, but I think it was kind of, necessary for the entire story there. It's like an alternate reality, where David Attenborough was a bit more bitter. He was forced to make this Windows XP era game about Pinecones, and he didn't have his coffee that morning. Oh, sorry, he's British. He didn't have his cup of tea that morning. He missed his tea time, and he recorded, and the developers of the game just said, you know what? We're not getting another take from David Attenborough. We can't afford it. And that's what happened there. They just went with it. I don't know what to do with this game. I'm gonna give it, conceptually, 4 out of 5 cigarettes. It was enjoyable, it was fun. Had a nice little twist there. Being insulted by David Attenborough is a sort of special joy in life, right? Something you would never get without AI, I think. So, however you feel about that, I enjoyed the game. Yeah. Thank you for thank you for sitting through that with me twice. I will see you again next time, but for now, hide out.